What's going on, guys? Today in this video, we are starting on the 79 Camaro. Obviously, we've done a little bit of stuff to it, but this is gonna be the first video that I've put on YouTube about this car. I know I've talked about it in other videos, but this one's gonna be specifically dedicated to this car. So we have a 1979 Camaro Z28. So we are gonna be doing a lot of good upgrades to this, but first let's get into the body and then we'll go into the engine and the future and stuff like that. So the owner of this car has had this since it's brand new. So it's been a one owner vehicle. He brings it to me. He basically just wants the outside to look exactly like it did the day he bought it. So there were a couple areas on the car on the passenger side. There was a pretty good dent on the cowl panel. So it looked like it was caved in a few inches. I don't know if it was a pole that it was slid into or what, I don't know. It was definitely just not a shopping cart though, I can promise you that. It was right here that I'm talking about. We had to go from the inside and just hammer that whole section out and then smooth it out as much as we could. And then obviously we kind of just blended it in with a little bit of filler to get rid of all of our hammering and dolly marks. But that really helped that section not look so terrible. I mean, it was just completely caved in. So we got rid of that. Then we had to knock this whole edge that I'm seeing right here, outlining with my finger. It was all smashed in, so I had to smash all that stuff out. But we were able to get most of the damage knocked out through the hole in the firewall for the heater box. All right, so from there we go on to the driver's side quarter. This thing was mangled. I mean, it was smashed in right here, real good, all the way along the body line, of course, and we're still kind of trying to body work that to get it smoothed out. And then back here, everything south of the body line was mangled. And I think even the body line on this side was jacked up too. So it's been a while ago since I did the repair on that side, but I do believe that I have a clip. If I do, I'll put it in later. So the floors were solid. I mean, fairly solid. There were some repairs that had to be done back here in the kind of like where the back seat was. I think the owner said there was a spill on the floor and just never really cleaned it up. So it just got rusty. And then there was a bunch of other little pinholes and stuff over here, probably where it's kind of common up here where the driver would put their feet, you know, get the carpet wet and then it rust right there. So, but other than that, the whole floor was actually usable. You know, we didn't have to cut and gut the whole entire thing out like every other car that I've worked on in the shop right now. There was one other part of the car, I'll pull it out here so I can show it to you, that we had to repair, and that was the trunk. If you guys have one of these, you probably know what this is like. The whole trunk is just normally rotted out on this thing, and this was the same case. It was a gigantic hole right here. We had to cut the entire trunk pan out. But the really nice thing was that we were able to keep this back panel, which meant that we didn't have to weld any structure and, you know, have to realign the thing after welding was done. We basically left this panel in place. And then to get around fitting the trunk in here without having this back panel off, we basically just cut the trunk pan in half. And then obviously this is way too small of a trunk pan for me to get into. So Paul got in and just basically welded the whole thing back up, ground it all down. And obviously we are still going to paint this. This has just kind of got overspray from the primer. So once we go in here and paint it black, everything is gonna look brand new. So the front subframe I had powder coated. I sent it out, they sandblasted the whole thing, powder coated it, and that helped a ton. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's got a pretty nice finish on it other than the factory crappy welds. All right, so this video is gonna seem like a bunch of random clips all kind of like meshed together of work that we've been doing to this thing. So from here on, it's just gonna be a ton of action, and then we'll get into some little talking points. I hope that this video has given you a good idea of what we've been dealing with so far on the 79 Camaro. We got a polyurethane bushing kit, and then so all of the control arms and stuff are just getting rebuilt. We're not using tubular control arms, but we are doing a coilover on the front. So that way we can lower it down a little bit, and then we're probably gonna do some drop leaf springs in the back just to bring it down just a little bit. So the other part of this thing is that this is going to be an LS swap. So almost identical to what I've done to the 56 Chevy. Basically, we're gonna be doing the exact same engine setup as that. As far as transmission goes, we don't really know yet. We're just gonna kind of wing it. But we do know, I think the customer is wanting a manual. On the 56, we use a 4L60E, and then on this setup here, we're gonna try to use a manual transmission. And just as a little teaser, I'm gonna be releasing a video here very soon on this, so you can look for that next week. Everything is really coming along here. We're just down to the final touches. So, got this thing mainly back together. Well, there's your introductory video on a 79 Camaro, and obviously we're gonna go through the whole process just like we do everything else, and we're going to be uploading more frequently as well. So I'm trying to get videos out there once a week now. So if you guys haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.